Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements. And in this video we are going to be reviewing Batman Year One, which is a faithful adaptation of the popular four-part comic book series which explores Batman and Bruce Wayne's first year in Gotham City. Alongside this, you also have the narrative of Commissioner Gordon's first year as Lieutenant James Gordon in Gotham City, and you also get to see Selina Kyle's first year as Catwoman explored as well. So there's quite a lot to unpack here, which we are going to be breaking down for you in this video review. So from a storyline point of view, like I just alluded to, there's kind of three separate storylines going on in Batman Year One. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have billionaire Bruce Wayne, who has returned to Gotham City after 12 years of travelling abroad, and he witnesses firsthand at just how crime-ridden Gotham City has become, and he then gets inspired to become Batman and become a bit of a one-man army to try to stop this and to try to clean up the streets of New York. In parallel to this, Lieutenant James Gordon has been transferred to Gotham City with his pregnant wife, and he witnesses firsthand at how corrupt the police force is. And throughout this movie, his narrative is all about trying to explore how he can go about fixing this. And then finally, we also have a bit of a separate storyline strand which explores the Selina Kyle character, who then goes on to become Catwoman. And she is in the dark streets of Gotham City and kind of sees a lot of questionable behaviour and does some questionable things to be able to prevent that. And like I said, she's got her own 15-minute special that accompanies the storyline in Batman Year One really, really well. So from a storyline point of view, Batman Year One is really awesome. So from a cast and characters point of view, it's really funny with Batman Year One, as they've got a new cast associated with this project playing all of the familiar characters. So it does take a little while to get used to their performances, but let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have Benjamin McKenzie, who voices the character of Batman, and it's really funny as in the future he would then be playing the James Gordon character in the Gotham series. But as far as Year One goes, he is voicing the Batman character. I wouldn't say he's the best, but after a little while you do get used to him voicing the Batman character, and then actually he does do a really good job in playing both the Bruce Wayne side of this character as well as the Batman side of this character. We then have Bryan Cranston, who is voicing the character of Lieutenant James Gordon. He does a really good job in terms of you really understand and you can really see the conflict inside the Commissioner Gordon character in terms of, he wants to be a really great member of the police force, but then at the same time he can see how corrupt it is and wants to go about changing it in the right way. We then have Eliza Dushku playing the character of Selina Kyle / Catwoman, definitely the anti-hero in this film, as she is definitely doing great things, but she's just doing it in the non-traditional heroic way. We then have Detective Flass, who is in the beginning a lot with the Lieutenant James Gordon character, and he is definitely the epitome of playing an evil police officer, totally corrupt and really using his authority and his power as a police officer in a really bad way. We then have Commissioner Loeb, who is at the top of the food chain in the police force and is definitely the head honcho of causing all of the corruption, and he really wants to keep it that way, and as such he's in real great conflict with the James Gordon character. We also have Harvey Dent here as well, and you can see the friendship beginning to form between him and Batman. And then finally we also have Alfred here, who is also the faithful butler for the Bruce Wayne and Batman character. So from a cast and characters point of view, it's really great to kind of see the origin storylines of all of these different characters in Gotham City. So from a visuals point of view, this movie special really does feel very dark and gritty, which is very Batman-esque. It's also very artistic in terms of it feels like a comic book has come to life in this particular animation style, which is great, as it really does feel faithful to the four-part comic book series. And you also do feel like you're in the beginning moments of the classic Batman journey. So I feel like the visuals really do bring it all to life, and they're really engaging to watch from start to finish. So in terms of comparisons, there have been other movie specials that have shown the origin storyline for the Batman character, namely in Batman Begins, which I feel like is actually quite similar to Year One, is just, the live action version. We also have Mask of the Phantasm, which I would say is kind of after this one, more focused on Year Two. And it's really interesting because at the end of Year One, it does lead itself really nicely into future Batman adventures. In terms of comparing Batman Year One to other animation adventures for the Batman character, you can compare it to The Killing Joke and to Under the Red Hood, Death in the Family, etc. I would say year one isn't as good as those other adventures are, but that being said, it's definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it already. So overall, I did really enjoy Batman Year One. You know, I'm a really big fan of the 4-part comic book series, and I thought this adaptation was really, really great. It literally did feel like it was a lift and shift from the comic book series, and it was a really great adaptation. For that, it's really great to see the Batman origins, as well as the Commissioner Gordon origin, as well as the Catwoman origin as well. And I feel like it was a really interesting narrative style in which they had both the Batman Bruce Wayne character as well as the Commissioner Gordon character in parallel, and I thought it was communicated really, really well in this film. Like I said before though, you know, there are other Batman animation adventures which kind of have a lot more going on, so by comparison this one does feel a little bit more basic. But that being said, you know, it is a really enjoyable film, and so for all of those reasons I'm going to give Batman Year One a solid 6 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise I look forward to seeing you in my next video.